know that in America, democracy is hypocrisy. Now, if I'm wrong, put me in jail.
And this is the reality. Now, when we come to Washington in this campaign, we are coming to get our check.
Welcome in, folks. Go ahead and close the door behind you on your way inside and have a seat. It's time to review this episode's Cultur Report. Yes, your one-stop think tank serving as an informative safe haven focused on the prime benefit of Black people. I'm your gracious host, HT, and right beside me is my trusted brother at arms, ID. How are you today, brother?
I'm doing good, man. How are you?
Black in America. Black in America.
People want to know my body count. I don't know why in like 2018 that's any of your business or why it matters. But 24. 11 athletes. Woo! 5 entertainers. Woo! 8 regular guys. Woo! I've only 3 regular guys since I've been Instagram famous because a lot of y'all run your fucking mouths too much. I don't want to be sending you a video 1 minute, the next minute I see me spread eagle on the timeline playing with my in my experience, the worst people to deal with are the athletes. None of them use condoms, really. So if y'all really want to try to come up off a check off a man, I mean, you could just an athlete. They're really done.
What's your whole take on the PJ Washington, Brittany Renner situation? Have you followed that at all?
Yeah.
So apparently what people are focusing on was that she was going to his high school games or college games, and she's like some years older than him, right. And they're saying that she was kind of grooming him to a certain degree.
This is the deal. Okay. He knew. I say this all the time. I was a fan of her show, of her way.
Yes.
And then, she said that thing. She goes, if you ever want to come up, fuck basketball players. They don't use rubbers. Boom, 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 boom. I heard her say it when it was original. And I was like, wow. So I said, when she got with old boy, and I said, wow, this young cat is like, that whole, I don't care what anybody say, we in love. And I think their parents was like, hey, she's a little bit older than you. Y'all can slow it down and just date. You don't have to be so serious. And then she was pregnant and all the pictures started not showing. And then when she got out, she was like, all right, I got what I wanted. I'm at this situation. I looked at her and I was like, she is straight up a really good planner. She planned her future. She's an ex-soccer player. She planned her future. This is how well she planned it. Not only did she have a baby with a multimillionaire, she had a baby with an athlete, and she's an athlete, knowing that she's going to hopefully have her kid be an athlete. Like she is literally keeping the bloodline strong. And she picked a good candidate. This is a good kid to have, he's a phenom at 18, 19 years old.
Yeah.
So she's a really good planner. I'm still a fan of hers too. So I just
listen. She's an attractive girl. I can understand why the condom might get thrown out the window in that particular situation. I get it.
Brittany Renner is an Instagram model that claims she slept with 24 men, including 11 athletes, 5 entertainers, and 8 quote-unquote regular guys. Renner tells her 4.5 million Instagram fans that athletes don't use condoms, making them easy targets for gold diggers. Out of all of the aforementioned athletes, entertainers, and a few quote-unquote regular guys, her relationship in 2021 with PJ Washington ended up taking place. Well, apparently good old PJ didn't get the memo of Brittany's self-admitted track record and motives in her book called Judge This Cover, along with her public dating lifestyle, because after falling in love for her and with her, really, along with getting her pregnant sometime thereafter, the power forward for the Charlotte Hornets stated since then that the IG model was faking their relationship in order to get a baby out of him. You don't say. With more Black males entering into the middle class, unmarried with no children, ID, why is there no legislation or any type of provision to prevent males from losing their resources?
Well, I mean, first of all, this story hits home, man. PJ's from Louisville. Shout out to everybody from Louisville. He went to University of Kentucky, man. He plays for one of my favorite teams, the Charlotte Hornets. The crazy thing that you just said before I go in is she said she had relations with 24 men. PJ Washington's jersey number is 25.
Speak on it.
Funny. But the whole thing is there's no money involved. If you basically stop paternity fraud, poking holes in condoms and making that a crime, getting pregnant on purpose, let's be honest, some women wouldn't have a come up. Modern women look at kids as an insurance policy, even marriage. So again, I ask you the same thing, man. Like, why do you feel some of these policies are not in place as well?
Well, I wholeheartedly agree with everything that you stated. I mean, the system has been designated to benefit the modern woman whenever modern day westernized relationships don't work out. So, I mean, why prevent, in particular, Black males from losing their resources in order for them to, as single individuals, keep it for themselves, or at least hold it for future generations and so forth, in a healthy family dynamic, when you can feed it into the system by way of some form of separation or divorce that benefits the state as a whole, or rather the government as a whole. In addition to which, Black men have always been a threat to society, namely by way of the nuclear family. So what we're talking about rather speaks on just yet a reason to further divide the Black family dynamic and to feed an economic resource into the system by way of family law, by way of divorce, whatever you want to call it. So there you have that. Any responses, sir?
No, I 100% agree. If you look at the Samsung commercial and most of your new liberal commercials in companies, they're pushing the Black man as the new heterosexual face. Lil Nas X winning music video of the year. So I totally agree 100%.
Oh, and I've seen those same commercials, and it's a sad sight to see, if you ask me, to watch us in a more either effeminate state that doesn't allow us to produce or reproduce in a nuclear family structure, or even for those who don't decide to have families, just for those of us who just respect family, respect the traditional way of solidifying a culture. And it's really just a sad state of affairs to watch that those type of dynamics fracture gradually with the inclusion of certain provisions, let's just say, which honestly you mentioned an example by way of Lil Nas X and so forth. So,
well, and like I said, on this platform, we respect everybody, man. Do your thing, but at the end of the day, don't push things on anybody. If you're gonna push one thing, push a heterosexual family as well.
But again, obviously, as a whole, they don't want that, because the Black family is where solidification for us as a people begin. It's kind of somewhat of a root or foundation for where we begin to harness some level of potential for growth into things from a more outward standpoint. So once your family structure is solidified, that's where the community can be harvested, so to speak.
Well, and the sad part, you don't have to worry about white supremacy anymore. You got the Black women, or the modern Black women, doing it for us. They're breaking up the home before they even start.
With that said, sir, makes me want to go into this next question here. How can Black male athletes and entertainers such as PJ Washington protect their assets and wealth from opportunistic females such as your Brittany Renners in the world?
To me, it just boils down to educating yourself and surrounding yourself with like-minded people, like-minded men, and also putting yourself and your purpose before chasing anybody. To me, PJ Washington is a great talent. I have to kind of blame him, but also the guys around him for not letting this go on for so long. She was actually scouting him when he was in college. So it wasn't like she just popped up one weekend and next thing you know, she's pregnant. And then she was also playing the good girl role with him because the other men that she wanted, athletes, entertainers, like, we don't have to name all of them, but he was the one that fell for it. And right when she had the baby and popped it out, she's gone. Now she's on social media basically killing the guy and talking about his stepdaddy season. So the biggest thing is, to understand that anytime you meet a woman, either she's a wife or a concubine. And once you understand those things and go back to some biblical principles, and like I said, again, surround yourself with some like-minded individuals, I think that is the 100% way you protect yourself from basically getting finesse. What's your opinion?
Again, I agree. In addition to which, it makes me think of a phrase that you say all of the time, ID, and that in so many words is the best way to win at the game is to what? Not play at all.
There you go.
So, meaning for those who might not understand that, PJ shouldn't have messed with Brittany Renner or anyone like her, because PJ acted foolish in believing that he could somehow impress her different from the others that she's dealt with. And she showed her true colors and dumped him a month after he impregnated this groupie. Now, he's going to end up paying a considerable amount of child support from his nearly $4 million salary for an 18-year minimum. PJ really should have done his homework, if he didn't, about Brittany, and went about this similar to Mr. $44 million earner James Harden, who she messed with, $150 million certified lover boy Drake, who she also messed with, and $5 million Jamal Murray, who she messed with as well, all within 2018, as well as, I'm sure countless others, such as Ben Simmons, Chris Brown, and just several other high-paid athletes and entertainers. They dealt with her. However, they did so for a brief amount of time and was at least smart enough not to get her pregnant. Here's the other thing too, and you reminded me of this earlier today off the recording. For those who have, and I haven't seen this movie, I just saw the scene of it. But for those who have actually seen the movie 50 Shades of Grey, the main male character, Christian, gave the main female character, Anna, a non-disclosure agreement to sign before they got into the hot and heavy activities in the bedroom. But if you're looking for a more real life example, which, that's a real life example there, but just outside of the movie dynamic, there's a rapper that goes by the name of Bandman Kevo. And yeah, he might have got caught up in, a scam here or there, whatever. But I think he was spot on when he posted on social media that big rappers should put the girls that they date in contracts for getting free promo and income from such encounters. Remember Sweetie, she's out here with her own Travis Scott type of McDonald's meal on the menu, along with acting opportunities on Grownish for 3 episodes and so forth, with along with other dealings, and largely from her dealings with famed Migos rapper Quavo. And really my overall point in this is that athletes and entertainers need to think with their head above their shoulders more so than they do with the head in between their legs, and treat the romantic encounters with modern females of this nature as a business opportunity, because that's how they view dealing with the males that they seriously engage with. Just really lastly though, brother, what is it that black males, what can black males learn from PJ Washington allowing himself to get taken advantage of from opportunistic females of the Brittany Renner archetype?
Well, and let's be honest, there's some great women out there. Salute to you ladies.
Salute.
But Brittany Renner is becoming the face of modern black young women under 35.
Yeah.
Where marriage is not sacred anymore. It's an insurance policy. Kids are basically a paycheck or the bag. they don't believe in a family structure, and if the family structure, and if they do, they're at the head of the table. So I think the biggest thing is, again, looking at this situation, and shout out to brother PJ. Everybody's, getting on you, but hey, at the end of the day, this brother's 23 years old. I could have been in the same situation when I was that age, especially if there was a Brittany Renner around our college campus. But at the end of the day, this is a lesson learned for every black male out there, every man, but especially the black men.
Yes.
Understand your value. If you understood your value, these women couldn't even get around you without an MBA. Let's be serious. Without a non-disclosure. Because at the end of the day, they're either a wife or a concubine. But even nowadays, and shout out to the lead attorney on YouTube,
Shout out.
you need to have a prenup. And then the whole thing is, prenups do work if you do the right things, which is number one, give it to them 6 months before the wedding. So they can't say they signed it under duress.
There you
Also
have it.
get maybe another attorney involved from her, so she can't say she didn't read it. Then also be fair. If it doesn't work out, then put things in there that actually benefit her. And that way it won't get thrown out. So at the end of the day, everything at the end of the day is about money. The lead attorney said in one of his lives the other day that he's never saw a woman come into his office and say, hey, my husband, I love him so much that I want him to have all his money. I don't want to take a dime. So at the end of the day, it's always about money. So let's be real. And like I said, my thing is, what's your opinion on it as well? And then go ahead and end this off, HT.
The Brittany Renner archetype, she's pretty masterful at hunting with mind games and physically attractive attributes until catching the prey that she can ensnare. And PJ Washington definitely fell into that snare, ending up unnecessarily heartbroken. And now guys like this are deservingly paying the price, and will have to deal with Brittany's vindictive personality type for the rest of his youth as an adult, if not the rest of his life. Mind you, with her being in her late 20s, landing a sucker like PJ was her overall goal, especially right before she hits the wall in the sexual marketplace. Also, Brittany's gonna have other guys to fling with around the sun that she won't let PJ be with per the date of this recording, all while PJ eventually pays her child support to low key and mostly fund her individual lifestyle, which is what she meant by the quote unquote stepdaddy season, and in my observation, so to speak. But she'll likely take him back to court for more child support at some point too, over the course of time, of course, once either PJ becomes more financially successful or just really period, and play other ongoing games to cause PJ even more stressed, to cause him even more stress than what he's currently having to deal with from his encounter with her. So, to be honest, like ID said, nobody's here to rag on anybody. At the same time, the truth is the truth. And PJ, you do deserve what's happening to you right now, because Brittany, she didn't hide her intentions out here in the dating market whatsoever. And PJ, he foolishly knocked up this opportunistic Tatiana. PJ either didn't ask others in the game about her if he didn't know, or he did know about her ways, and he, like so many other betas and simps, felt as if he was going to be the one to allow the couple to serve as this modern day power couple, or something of that nature, similar to how Kanye scooped up Kim K years back after she slept around with several athletes and entertainers as well, which, by the way, we see how that's going in the long run for them. But nonetheless, Brittany, she was on to something about the fact that athletes and entertainers are dumb for not wearing condoms. I mean, in my viewpoint, she was. So when you get sexually involved with a Tatiana moving forward, fellas, wrap it up. Put that condom on. Going raw in the long run and the short run, it's not worth it, as you can see in this scenario here. And for those that are or can be more disciplined with their sex life, consider not even being sexually active with or dealing with them whatsoever then. Also, focus your talents that keep you on the path toward your purpose and the bag. Because whether you're an athlete, entertainer, or neither of the two, as a black man, again, you want to focus on those attributes, or at least consider doing so, and mind your business out here in the public eye. Because as Jason Black says all of the time, handle your business or your business is going to handle you. In the meantime, let us know what your overall thoughts are regarding the PJ Washington and Brittany Renner dilemma. Hit that subscribe button if you're checking us out on YouTube, along with that notification bell icon as well. Check us out on Patreon, where we do host our more exclusive videos and topics discussed here on the Cultur Report. We definitely want to thank you all for joining us here on this program, and until next time, meeting adjourned.